ซุงจูคิมเป็นผู้บริหารหญิงที่ประสบความสำเร็จไม่เพียงแต่ในเกาหลีใต้แต่ยังได้รับการยกย่องจากเวทีต่างประเทศมากมายล่าสุดปี 2012 เธอได้รับคัดเลือกให้เป็น1 ใน 50 นักธุรกิจหญิงของเอเชียของนิตยสาร Forbes.
Is it difficult to be a woman and lead a company in Korea today?
I think it still is, because still major companies, unfortunately, they still have absolute majority of men in the top level. But now I think they learned very hard lesson recently, especially after the first women president got elected. So now they started to behave. It means they start suddenly promote women in the higher position, which is great. So, but I think it's much less, but still is some ways because I recently was invited to some dinner with a very high position businessman, and which I try to avoid being with them because usually they drink a lot. I hate drinking, but when you are with them, maybe because they start to feel insecure. Some ways I was the only woman among that crowd, and they just have such a dirty jokes against women and really try to humiliate me down out of all these things. So I really didn't like it. So still, yes, a very high level business practice still going on, very man's way running it. But don't get really upset by that. Just try to avoid it. For me, it is still difficult, I must admit, but I think women are excelling because we take a different route.
Right. Some say women tend to be more picky and more bossy than men. Do you agree?
Some women. I mean, yes, in a sense that I think it's not just men or women. I found people, when they are internally very secure, they tend to be more generous externally. But when they are very insecure inside, they tend to be very authoritarian, very bossy. I don't know. It's just that's what I found. So. Even like me, when I become very nervous, I know I become very defensive. But when I'm relaxed and self-content, I just very relaxed about all the challenges. So I think it's more than just man and women issue, I must say. So, but women, yes, because maybe they feel a little bit insecure in very male chauvinistic environment, so they just want to show off that we have a gut, to rule over. But maybe in past it was so. That's why all this militant feminist movement, they are very much fighting against men, but not anymore. I think we should really appreciate what we have as a women's strengths, which is very different from men. Luckily, this future industry, future economy, knowledge-based economy, really demanding for women kind of leadership because everything in network, everything is very horizontal. Everything is very globalized, and also it requires a lot of emotional conscious women possess. This has became our strengths. So we don't have to imitate men. I think we have to develop our own leadership, which eventually will excel, could be even more competitive.
นอกจากการเป็นผู้บริหารธุรกิจแล้วบทบาทล่าสุดของซุงได้สร้างประวัติศาสตร์ให้กับแวดวงการเมืองเกาหลีใต้ในฐานะประธานร่วมของคณะกรรมการหาเสียงของประธานาธิบดีปักกึนเฮประธานาธิบดีหญิงคนแรกของเกาหลีใต้
As co-chair of the presidential campaign committee for President Park Geun-hye, what were the biggest issues that you faced during the campaigning?
Well, first of all, why I jumped in the middle of a presidential campaign, that's the first thing we should ask because I hate politics. Because politics in Korea is like a dog fighting in mud path. And also my father always saying, stay away politics. So, but the reason I got in was that was very much she was losing the game. So first of all, because it's not because she was women, because she has very clear identity as a nation being a democratic capitalist society. Meanwhile, two opposition guys, they were coming from left wing, very pro North Korea. I think it was wrong. So I felt I need to rescue my country from being wrong side of the ideology, and also it will destroy the economy, and also that could endanger Korean Peninsula in terms of a conflict. So that's one first reason I joined. The second reason was because I felt, I just tried, even without knowing anything about politics, I felt we need to win this game. So I applied my simple business know-how, branding and marketing. So how can differentiate this lady candidate from these two coward opposition guys who are going to unify together, win over. I thought, wow, she's women. So I thought, well prepared, the first women to be in Korean history. That was the political motto I made. We won. So we gained a lot of women's vote eventually. And so during the campaign, obviously, I don't really understand the nature of politics really much, and I just don't even be bothered by that because there's so many, inner politics going on. I just stay away and just get my own secretariat from press to whatever. And with the very young people I was equipped, and I just pursued the way I wanted to see. So many people teach me I was more look like a candidate because I was running so much and I appear every day 2 TVs and 1 radio live, and also meanwhile I was instead of doing just political rally, what I did, I focusing on giving lecture through the universities because she couldn't gain much vote from young people. Because young people thought these opposition guys are more cooler because they're talking about liberal thinking. But so I gave more than 30 lectures to the young college students. Instead of mentioning anything about politics, I just only taught them how to be global leader. I tried to, why these youngsters are so frustrated because there's no job, economy is not doing well, and also they are sick and tired of all the politics. So I told these young kids that instead of getting fed up with that, go for global. That's the future. Blue ocean used to explode, and also don't criticize past. Build the future. So I think that. So eventually we got so much also votes from youngsters too. That's how we won.
What impact do you think President Park Geun-hye, as a woman, would have on Korea's politics?
Funny enough, she didn't appoint many women cabinet members, and also she didn't even include any women secretaries in the presidential office. So rather irony, even we expect though. But I think her strategy is, I think her being as a first woman president is shocking enough to the society. So she doesn't want to disturb too much. So at the beginning she just started like that. But second round, I presume she will include more women into top position like that. And also she already pledged that 1/3 of Korean government bureaucrats will be filled by women, so which is great. And also she started to support a lot child rearing because this is one of the biggest obstacles for women to access to work. So she became very, very supportive. So eventually she will really accelerate women's participation in every sector of society. But interesting, all these major biggest interest media, the domestic media, which tend to be very conservative, they suddenly start to promote so many women in top position. Why? Because they want to gain more close access to the women president. And also many major Korean companies, they start to suddenly promote women because also they want to look nicer to women president. So all these things happening. So without, she has a strong stance or governing over what to do about women. Already glass ceiling is breaking. So which is very positive impact we created, which is great.
How would you advise other women to become successful like you?
Well, for me, just don't be passive. Don't cry over any obstacle you are facing. It's a luxury. We don't have time for that. Just go for it and just rely on your strengths, which is women's strengths is really now most competitive one in 21st century in knowledge-based economy. Top of that, I think without women's leadership, future capitalism would not survive. So it's our duty to take on leadership to go for it. Girls, be ambitious.
คุณซุงจูคิมตัดสินใจที่จะเลือกทางเดินชีวิตของตัวเองนะคะเพราะว่าอยากจะพิสูจน์ค่ะว่าจะไปได้ไกลสักขนาดไหนและจากการตัดสินใจในวันนั้นเธอก็ทุ่มเทความสามารถทุกอย่างของเธอใช้ความเพียรพยายามความอดทนอดกลั้นนะคะจนประสบความสำเร็จในวันนี้อย่างที่เธอบอกแหละค่ะว่าเธอทำงานหนักกว่าคนอื่น10เท่าก็เลยประสบความสำเร็จมากกว่าคนอื่น10เท่าเช่นเดียวกันค่ะพบกันใหม่สัปดาห์หน้านะคะวันนี้สวัสดีค่ะ